Yesterday, President Trump was at Mar-a-Lago. He was introduced by Sylvester Stallone, which is just, guys, the entertainment value of this administration is going to be like through the roof. Here was Sylvester Stallone introducing President Trump. This is at an event for the America First Policy Institute, which is sort of the think tank that is very much associated with the Trump administration.
And I'll just say this, and I mean it. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
So there's Rocky introducing President Trump. President Trump then gets up and he announces that Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota, will be his nominee for Secretary of the Interior.
We have a big announcement, and I won't tell you the name of his, the exact name. I think he's an incredible person. He's got an unbelievably wonderful wife named Catherine. So I won't tell you his name. Might be something like Burgum. He's from North Dakota. He's going to be announced tomorrow for a very big position. So everybody's waiting. There he is. Hi, Doug. He's going to be announced tomorrow, and we have somebody else that's probably coming up with him to be announced, who's a big one. And we're going to do things with energy and with land, interior, that is going to be incredible. And so I look forward to doing the formal announcement, although this is a pretty big announcement right now. Actually, he's going to head the Department of Interior, and he's going to be fantastic. All right? Good, Doug. Congratulations, Catherine. But we'll make the formal announcement tomorrow. All right?
Okay, so again, Burgum for Secretary of the Interior makes all the sense in the world. Again, he is from an area that does have an enormous amount of land that is protected by the federal government. Secretary of the Interior basically oversees national parks as well as drilling. So Secretary of the Interior does have a relationship with a lot of the oil companies. He has, of course, been a person who's very involved in the energy sector as governor of North Dakota. So Burgum is a great and sort of conventional pick. So you're getting, some great conventional picks, and then you're getting some unconventional picks. And the pushback on some of the unconventional picks is pretty wild. The pushback on Pete Hegseth, particularly over Department of Defense, President Trump's Department of Defense nominee, who I think will be excellent, is wildly over the top, like really over the top. Take, for example, MSNBC commentator and former NAACP president Sherrilyn Ifill. She was on MSNBC last night, and they are just throwing out the playbook. They're just, whatever is the playbook, they're just going right to it. It's amazing. So she says that Pete Hegseth is a white supremacist. Zero evidence of this. Honest to God, he's just sue her for defamation.
The Secretary of Defense nominee, Peter Hegseth, the Fox News commentator as well, because this is someone who, weekend host, important distinction. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass.
What a jerk. I mean, honestly, just nasty and untrue. I mean, false. I'm sorry, opposing diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense, which, by the way, is counterproductive in terms of racial comedy. That is not racism. That is not white supremacy. If this is the best you got, he's going to get confirmed. Meanwhile, you have Representative Steve Cohen from Tennessee saying that Pete Hegseth's main qualification is Fox News, which is weird since he is an Army National Guard major with 2 Bronze Stars who served in Afghanistan and Iraq and has a degree from Harvard and another degree from Princeton. So yeah, I'm going to go no on that, Steve.
And the suggestion that the Department of Defense should be led by the host of Fox and Friends on weekends as his main contribution to society is scary to our soldiers who need the best and brightest at the helm.
Again, like, this is the best you got? Truly? So Senator from Illinois, Tammy Duckworth, who is a retired Army National Guard lieutenant colonel, she's very upset that Pete Hegseth said that women should not serve in frontline combat positions. She's upset, apparently, because she says that makes him unqualified because she was wounded in combat.
This idea that you can exclude women from combat is really one that shows his lack of experience and really, him being unqualified to be the Secretary of Defense, because it's not where modern warfare is.
Well, I mean, it absolutely is where modern warfare is. He said frontline combat positions, and the fact that you were wounded in the line of duty, that's heroic and amazing. And honestly, hats off to you. All honors appropriate. That doesn't change what the rule should be about whether women should be in frontline combat positions, given the fact that men, on average and at the extremes, have physical advantages over women. That's just the reality of the world. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Warren was attacking Pete Hegseth, saying he was unqualified. Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma says, why would we possibly listen to Chief Wiggum over here?
For Elizabeth Warren to say that someone's not qualified when she was claiming to be Cherokee for the majority of her life, which I am Cherokee, which is a good direct insult, carries no weight with me. Here, Peter served for 20 years in the United States Army. He was a decorative combat veteran with 2 Bronze Stars, and he's a civilian. People forget that the Secretary of Defense is supposed to be a civilian. That's for a particular reason. So he knows how to carry a message. He knows how the military works, and he's truly a civilian. He's not a general that's just going to be looking over at other generals' shoulders. He's somebody that's going to go up there and actually look at things from another perspective, and the DOD needs to be looked at differently.
Okay. Again, he's right about all that. Even the ex-Obama DHS chief, Jay Johnson, is defending Pete Hegseth on CNN.
I've given the benefit of the doubt on at least the nomination at this point, because here's somebody who was well-educated, obviously intelligent, was in financial services, was in the Wall Street community for a while, could have made a lot of money, and chose to leave that, put on the uniform of our country, and see combat. So I give him the benefit of the doubt for that reason.
Okay, so again, I think that's the proper approach. My belief at this point is that Hegseth will get confirmed. RFK Jr., and we'll see what the confirmation fight looks like. I think there's some outstanding issues for pro-lifers, particularly about RFK Jr., because obviously he's very pro-choice, and HHS does have some ability to shape exactly, for example, religious mandates. So we'll see how that plays out in the hearings. Then there's Matt Gaetz. So Matt Gaetz is obviously the most controversial of President Trump's picks. Now, the justification for Matt Gaetz was basically made by J.D. Vance, the vice president-elect. So the main issue with Matt Gaetz is that he used his office to prosecute his political opponents and authorize federal agents to harass parents who are peacefully protesting at school board meetings. Oh, wait, it's actually Merrick Garland, the current attorney general. Okay, so you don't have to make the argument with me that Merrick Garland is an awful attorney general. I think Merrick Garland is one of the worst attorney generals in American history. He's awful. Truly, truly awful. We've had a bunch of bad ones, ranging from Janet Reno to Eric Holder. That does not answer why Matt Gaetz should be the guy. Because let's be real about this. Donald Trump can find a bevy of excellent lawyers who are capable of doing exactly what he wants them to do as AG, who don't have the excessive amount of baggage that Matt Gaetz has. And Matt Gaetz has tons of baggage. There's a reason he's wildly unpopular in the House. And there's also a reason that there's some skittishness about sort of his own personal record. So, for example, Professor Robert George. There is no one in the country in academia who is more conservative than Professor George. Okay, Robert George, the McCormick Professor of Jurisprudence and director of the James Madison Program in American Ideals and Institutions, he also happens to be on the board of the National Center on Sexual Exploitation. And they wrote to the Senate Judiciary Committee saying, quote, as an elected member of Congress, Mr. Gaetz admitted to attending sex parties. These parties reportedly included young women, some allegedly minors, who were paid to participate in sex acts. It is further alleged that Mr. Gaetz did not merely attend these events, but actively participated. Evidence suggests he sent payments through Venmo and Cash App to an associate, who then transferred funds to the women, labeling payments as tuition. Some on Mr. Gaetz's team argued the prostitution fell outside U.S. jurisdiction because it took place on yachts in international waters, an excuse that does not stand up to moral and perhaps legal scrutiny. Robert George says, NCOSE works tirelessly to protect women and children from trafficking and other forms of sexual exploitation. My fellow board members are politically left, right, and center. We are Republicans, Democrats, and independents. We are asking the Senate to withhold confirmation hearings for Mr. Gaetz until a full and transparent investigation is conducted into his possible role in the exploitation of young women and girls at the sex parties he has admitted to attending. So, again, we'll have to see exactly how all of that plays out. These are not, in fact, unserious concerns. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.